Hello, hello, it's Bree, and welcome to another segment of Behind the Business with Bree. I'm very excited today. I have Goodyear Shoe Service in here with me today, and they are located in Walpock. What's your exact address?
11 West Augley Street, right downtown.
Yes, it's right downtown. I absolutely love the downtown in Walpock. It's so cute, and all these businesses are all together. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So then I can go in and I can shop and I can get myself a smoothie, and then I can go back to more shopping, get myself a really good lunch down at J. Marie's. You know, all of these little businesses that make Walpock such a great little community.
Yes, we have worked at that over the last several years to be able to come together and work as a team, as a group, to be able to bring people to the downtown.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I didn't introduce you. You're Dale Barrett.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are the owner.
Yes.
And how long have you owned Goodyear Shoe Service?
Since 2011, I purchased it, and I should also side note, my wife and I own it. Her name's on the business card too. We purchased it from my parents in 2011. My parents purchased it in 1980 and ran it with just the two of them from 1980 till 2011, actually 2008 when I came in. And we have now graduated up to 5 people working there from the 3 with the workload and the things that we do on a daily basis. So the business actually started in 1968 is when the gentleman first opened it up. And there were a couple owners prior to Mom and Dad.
Okay, and so before I get to you, what made your parents get into the shoe service?
It wasn't the shoe service specifically. It was Dad wanting to be his own business owner. He had several jobs throughout his career when I was a kid, and was, I think, pretty much tired of having to work for someone else and not agreeing with their opinions. And they were looking for a business to buy. And at that time, that was the only business locally that was available. And he said, yeah, I'll learn how to do shoe repair. So they bought the business. He bought some books, started reading and learning, and away he went.
That is awesome. That's super cool, actually. And so, and then you just followed in the footsteps.
Not directly. Through my teenage years, I would go in and help him when they would get busy. So I knew how to do the repair, how to fix things. But when you're 16 years old, looking at shoe repair, that's not what I wanted to do for a living. So I let it go, moved on. I actually spent a career in heating and air conditioning for about 25 years.
Wow.
And after my 25 years of that, I decided I'm done working for somebody else. I need to do my own thing. And the management that I had worked with through the 25 years had always said, find a niche in the market, fill the need, and you will be successful. And I took it one step further with Mom and Dad already having a well-established business with a customer base. I don't need to start a new business. I need to continue this business going. And as long as I maintain the quality that Mom and Dad had maintained for 30, 40 years, I should be okay. And so that's when I decided to do it.
Absolutely. That's super cool. And I love family-owned businesses because when you go into a family-run business, you know that you're getting that guaranteed satisfaction because people aren't taking their name and I guess ruining it.
Correct. You always, being a small business owner, you always take it with you. It's always with you. You want to try to give that customer the best that you have to offer. Even if it isn't maybe the best in the world, as long as you give them your best, that's all the customer can expect. And we do pretty good. Of course, you always have the occasional customer that just is not satisfied no matter what, but that happens.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I think that's really cool. And I love your founding story, I guess.
It's even more in depth. Prior to us, there was a store in St. Mary's, Ohio called the Goodyear Shoe Store. And he started it to sell work boots for the people that worked at the Goodyear rubber plant at the time in St. Mary's. And he did shoe repair. Well, it was his son-in-law who then came over to Walpock and actually opened up what they called the Goodyear Shoe. Oh, what was it? I apologize. Opened up the Goodyear Shoe Store there. And he's the one that actually started it in 68. So the one in St. Mary's had a connection. They were connected. They were related. They were not directly involved with each other, but they were related.
Yeah.
And then that gentleman fell ill and couldn't do it, and the owner in St. Mary's tried to run both St. Mary's and Walpock at the same time, and it was just too much of a workload, and that's when Mom and Dad stepped in.
And you speak of this workload, and I'm just so intrigued by what you guys do. So you sell shoes, but you don't just sell shoes.
Correct. We're as far as shoe repair stores go, we're a bit unique. We have a huge sales floor, as you've seen. Most shoe repair stores are not much bigger than this booth. They do repairs on shoes, and that's it. Back in the 80s and even into the 90s, most shoes were made repairable. Since then, a lot of mass production has been improved, and a lot of the stuff is not repairable. It's wears out, throw it away, get a new one. So we have had to broaden our horizons because strictly shoe repair isn't going to be enough to keep us going. And being located in Wapakoneta, Ohio, you're in rural country, so there's always something to fix. I jokingly say we fix anything with a button, buckle, clip, snap, or zipper. We do luggage, purses, suitcases, ball gloves, coats, backpacks, all kinds of stuff. That has been able to help keep us going. And then on the shoe side, we focus primarily on work boots because most of the time work boots are repairable and we can get a little more life out of them versus most women's dress shoes. They're not really made to be repaired. There's not much you can do with them from that aspect. So the workload will vary obviously from day to day and season to season, but we do way more than shoes. And that's where literally we tell anybody, if you want to try fixing something, bring it in, let us see it. If we can see it and touch it and feel it, we'll be able to tell you if we can fix it or not.
Okay. And so how much does something like that cost? Is that a lot of money to get your shoes fixed?
It depends on what you're talking about, literally. On average, the least amount of repair you're going to be looking at is about $8, something plain and simple. If you're talking about resoling a work boot for a guy, you're going to be talking more along the lines of $80. And if we have special projects, which every once in a while people come in and want us to make this or do that or mend this, it could be a little more than that. But that range of 8 to 80, I know that's broad, but that's about as best I can pinpoint.
No, and that's exactly because some of these work boots are $380 plus.
They are now, especially post-COVID. So you look at I go back to pre-COVID, which is when I started working. If you're going to buy a $200 pair of work boots and the boot is still in decent shape, but for $78 you can resole it and maybe get another 6 to 9 months of life out of it for $78, that's usually a good bet. And you'll get more money out of it, and it's more beneficial to you. There are some times that the guys don't take care of the leather on the top of the boot like they should, cracks and holes. That may not be beneficial. You might want to take that $75 to $80 and invest it towards a new one. At the $200 range, it was very, very acceptable. Now, like you said, pushing $350 for some of these versions, it's a no-brainer if the boot's in good enough shape. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep.
I obviously most of the listeners know that I lived in Europe for a long time, and I was like, I got to throw these shoes away. And you don't do that in Europe.
No.
You get your shoes fixed.
Correct. A lot of the European countries, literally the shoes are made there by an artisan, what we refer to as a cordwainer. He actually makes them, and they are made that they can be repaired. Mm-hmm. Those are more dress shoes, finer leathers. Again, not our neck of the woods in the middle of Ohio. We don't see that very often, so we don't run into that very often, but we do. That's why the focus on the work boots.
Well, you don't run into someone that can fix shoes very often either.
It is a dying trade. I have been told that before World War II, there were over 45,000 shoe repair stores in the United States. And somewhere around 1985, 1990, there were 2,000. Oh. And since then, I personally know of at least 10 since I've been involved since 2011 that have closed and gone down. So yes, we are a dying trade.
That's unfortunate. But
again, industry, society, the way the shoes are made, there's less and less work to do. And imagine, again, someone in Sydney had a pair of $30 shoes that they wanted to get fixed, and it was going to cost $25 to fix them. And you have to drive from Sydney to Walpock and back again and do it twice. You have to drop them off and go pick them up. The money tends to not be there to justify the cost. But if you had a $500 pair of cowboy boots, that's justifiable. And that's where we run into the trouble. The local people, we can get to do that relatively easily. But if you're any distance, you're not going to drive there. It's just not cost effective to do that.
Oh, I would totally drive to Walpock to get my shoes fixed. I think I told you when I talked to you the other week, I was like, oh, I need to bring my shoes in here now.
Yep.
I have so many heels that need fixed. So that's very exciting. I think it's really important to know that there is services like that just as close as Walpock or Walpock, Canada. Do you say Walpock or do you say Walpock,
I grew
Canada?
up there, I call it Walpock.
Yeah, so
you shorten it.
Yeah, you shorten it to Walpock, and so it's just around the corner, and we're good to go. Like I said, you're downtown Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Main Street that?
It's All Glaze Street.
All Glaze Street.
Which is everybody refers to as the main drag
Yep.
because it is. But if you actually find Main Street, it's a block to the south, and there's nothing there.
Oh, that's funny.
It's All Glaze Street is actually the main drag.
And
Yep.
what are your hours there?
We're odd. We're still throwback on that. Monday through Wednesday, we're there 9 to 5, regular hours. We're closed on Thursdays. Friday, we're open from 9 to 5:30, and Saturday's 9 to 2. Now, the Thursday is a throwback to the 80s when all the downtown businesses would close on Thursdays because they were open on Saturdays. And all these private business owners have to have time to do whatever, doctor's appointments, etc., etc. We have maintained that, and I will point out that the rest of downtown Walpock closes on Monday because the antique shops and the restaurants are open on Sunday. So they have Monday as their day off.
Yeah.
I've just never changed it and left it at Thursday, and that's where it's been since before 1980.
That's awesome. So you just have your Thursdays.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome. I love that.
Which is why I'm here.
Yeah.
Today, right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
And so, no, that's very exciting. I think Goodyear Shoe Service is in downtown Walpock. If you need some shoes fixed or anything with a belt or buckle or, I don't know what I was thinking, a jacket, then you can take it down and Dale will tell you if he can fix it or not. Or if you're just looking for a good pair of shoes, then you can go down.
One final note, we try to focus on American made when we can. Now, there are a lot of products that simply are not made in America anymore, and we have them. But if we can, we try to focus on that first.
I love that. I love that for you. I think that that's important as we support small businesses and local businesses. Made in America tends to be a lot better, I think, just from the things that I purchase.
As a rule of thumb, at least in my industry, they have better quality materials that they make the boots and shoes out of. You can have it made exactly the same way in another country, but they normally don't have the same quality to start with.
Yeah.
So that's where we try to get it.
I love that because I was going to ask you before we were done for the day, what set you aside from other shoe stores? And I'd say that that's it.
That's primarily it. And being on the repair side, we know how that boot was made. So if it fails or something happens, I know what's going to happen to it. And I know how it'll hold up. I also know how the non-repairable boots are made, and I know what's going to happen to them, and I know how they're going to fall apart. I don't want someone coming back to me in 6 months, 9 months, or even 12 months and saying, I bought a piece of junk off of you, and I want to return it. I don't want that. I want you to buy something that hopefully lasts long enough, and you get your money's worth out of it, and or I can repair it and make a little more money off of you, and drag the boot out for a little bit longer, and then go ahead and buy a new pair.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's great. And so I'm definitely going to send my family to Goodyear Shoe Service to get any of their work boots because I saw them and they're kind of cute for me. I know that doesn't matter in a work boot, but I was like, oh, those are cute. And you've got a lot of cute other items for women in there too.
All kinds of accessories,
Yeah.
Belts, wallets, purses, flip-flops, moccasins, slippers. We've got other things. Again, focal point work boots, but lots more stuff than that.
Yeah, there was definitely some cute purses in there because I saw them and I was like, oh, and then I was like, okay, Bree, focus. You're not here to go shopping. All right, well, thank you so much for coming, and I'm very glad that you came in, and I'm super excited to share your services with everyone and make sure that they know that you're right downtown Walpock on Auglaize Street.
By the way, we do not have any kind of website. We do have a Facebook account. You can find us under Goodyear Shoe Service under Facebook, and of course the telephone book. It's pretty easy
telephone book.
Yeah, the telephone book, Yellow Pages. It's pretty simple to go on the internet online, and all you have to do is type shoe repair Wapakoneta, and we're it.
And then you'll pop up.
Yep.
And so follow you on Facebook.
Yes. Goodyear Shoe Service.
Goodyear Shoe Service.
We don't post much. We do a lot of interesting things. One of the latest ones was working on Petey the Panther for the Parkway schools who needed his feet fixed.
Oh.
So we did repair for Petey, and I posted that on there because I wanted to let everybody know that. I don't want it to become a normal habit, but yeah, we did some special repairs.
Oh, so we shouldn't bring our mascot costumes to you?
You can. We do. What we do the repair for. Another thing we do for the Children's Hometown Holiday is the repair of the costumes.
Oh, that's awesome.
People walk around them every year and just tear them up in a matter of 2-3 days.
Yeah.
So we repair those and do that for them as well. So.
Very cool.
Yep,
I love that.
Follow us on Facebook.
Oh, awesome. So follow Goodyear Shoe Service on Facebook and check out what they're doing, or check them out besides Thursdays, right?
Any day but Thursday and Sunday.
Any day but Thursday and Sunday, which Sunday is not a shoe repair day. Sunday is a rest day.
Amen.
Amen. And so, all right. Well, thank you, Dale, for being on the show. I'm really glad that you were here today. And this has been Behind the Business with Bree.